Time for our Inside the Clubhouse segment. Again, our Bernie Pleskoff is joining us from the Baseball Winter Meeting live from the Anatole Hilton in Dallas. Every week on Under the Big Straw Hat, we go inside the clubhouse and take a look at one specific major league team. Today, we'll look at a team that, Bernie, you're very familiar with. That's the Arizona Diamondbacks. You live in Phoenix. You follow them as a fan, I would imagine, there. They had a big change going into last year, and it really paid off. With the division they play in with the defending World Series champion San Francisco Giants, with most of their good pitching back, they won that division by 8 games. They changed their manager. Kirk Gibson came in. They changed their general manager. Kevin Towers came in. Let's talk about the Arizona Diamondbacks. They won 94 games last year. They had a great second half. They made the playoffs. Let's talk about them going forward now this year and what they need to do this offseason. Where do you want to start with the Diamondbacks?
Well, let's look at the pitching staff, Butch. They probably want another starting pitcher, and they may be looking at Kuroda, the Dodgers. It's very possible. They really would like to shore up their pitching. Probably another arm in the pen as well wouldn't hurt. I think they have a hole at third base with Brian Roberts. I'm not sure they think they have a hole at third base. I think they could use another big bat in the lineup other than Goldschmidt and Upton. We'll see, but I think it starts with the pitching. Ryan Roberts, not Brian Roberts.
Right.
The pitch is going to make or break this club. And if they can get Kuroda, that will help tremendously. Saunders is then vulnerable. They could trade him, and they would find a market for him. He is definitely tradable, but they're not going to tender him, I don't think.
Well, let's talk about the pitching, Bernie, and let's talk specifically, because when you say they could use another pitcher, obviously we could use that phrase for every team in baseball. But my question to you would be, how much better can they be than they were last year? I mean, they had Ian Kennedy, who emerged as an ace. I mean, he was a Cy Young candidate with the year he had last year. Joe Saunders, who's a lefty. They got a good balance of lefties and righties. Daniel Hudson was a great third starter for this team. Josh Colmenter, again, find me a better fourth or fifth starter in the major leagues. He competed up there. Now they're going to put Wade Miley in there. My only issue with them in the pitching, they were 8th in runs allowed last year in the National League. So top to bottom, their pitching does get in the lead a little better. And they didn't strike out enough guys for me. Or maybe that's just a personal preference. Maybe you don't need that in the National League West.
I think you do. Jared Parker is a guy that could strike out a lot of players. He could be a back end of the rotation guy. He'll be a rookie coming off arm surgery. He's a year removed. Parker could slip into that 5th spot if, in fact, they can't find another starter. They also have Skaggs available to them during the year. Bauer will be available to them with a little bit more experience. So they have 3 rookies that they could mix into the rotation by the end of 2012 without any problem. I think they are the team to beat in the National League West. I've said it. I looked at every roster yesterday again. I don't see anybody that can match up with them unless the Giants get some more hitting.
All right, you mentioned that they might need another big bat. Let me come back at you. I don't know if I'm disagreeing. Maybe I am with this. I think they need a better bat. I mean, I look at a team that scored the 4th most runs in the National League last year. They also hit the 4th most home runs with a team like Philly and St. Louis and other teams. They had 172 home runs, yet their on-base percentage was low. They struck out 8th worst in the National League last year. Don't they need more plate discipline? Don't they need some better hitters? Don't they need a leadoff hitter who can get on base a little better?
When I say a big bat, I'm not just talking home runs. I'm talking about a big bat that can drive in runs and hit for average. And that's where I think third base is the place to put that bat, or in left field. You know, Parra plays left field. He plays it very well. Defensively, he's outstanding. Young, the center fielder, is an exceptional center fielder. He has power, but his average is not, what they want it to be or what he wants it to be. One more bat in that lineup. And let's not forget Montero behind the plate. He is really sound. He is really good, and he's getting better every year. This club is going to mature together. They're going to get more expensive together, and they are going to continue to win. One bat, one arm puts them really one step closer to that World Series.
And one final thought about the Arizona Diamondbacks here in our Inside the Clubhouse segment. The management team of Kirk Gibson in the dugout and Kevin Towers as the GM. I mean, Gibson as a player has been able to translate that toughness as a manager. You've brought up numerous examples in our time together of some unusual things he's done with his teams. And Kevin Towers, managing a small market team in San Diego, now having a little more money to spend in Arizona. I like the combination of that management team, don't you?
Which I think they're going to be a prototype for others to follow. The way they work together, the way they listen to one another, the way they handle their club, the way they discipline that clubhouse, the way they cut their losses quickly. You're not performing for Kevin Towers. Thank you. We're going to move on. You don't keep somebody 3 years who has not performed for you. You give him a chance. If he doesn't, well, you had your chance. Now somebody else is going to have that chance. That's what I like about this club. And Gibson has hunches about players, and he plays them.